To be honest, I really didn't know what to do at the time. It was in March of 2017 that I finally hit breaking point. I was experiencing brain fog, depression, fatigue, and it didn't matter how much personal development work I did, it just never stuck, and I couldn't work out why. And worse yet, I was constantly dizzy, I couldn't focus, I was procrastinating, exhausted. I had no sense of purpose or direction. I was a total shell of my former self, and it was getting worse by the day. And this is someone who'd previously written 3 books in the field of personal development and spoken on stage in front of thousands. And all of a sudden I find myself in a position where I can't focus and I'm filled with fear and anxiety all of the time. And I got even more disheartened hearing the self-help gurus yelling to quit making excuses. And what I now realize is that advice is bad at best and dangerous at worst because it fails to factor in any underlying issues that alter behaviors at an unconscious level. So I just kept asking myself, what's wrong with me? Why can't I fix this? Of all people, I know this stuff, I should be able to fix this. And that's when I finally realized that the problem is when we look at peak performers, we only look at their psychology, not the biochemistry that supports and fuels that peak performing psychology. And if you were to take a peak performer and deplete them of essential nutrients, they would suddenly become depressed, procrastinate, make excuses, and become lazy. And it wouldn't matter how much you told them to apply willpower, they would eventually run out of the mental energy required to maintain it because their brain would no longer have the fuel it needed to process the psychological work that needed to be done. It's like having a car but no gas in the tank. And for months and months, I tried to get answers from doctors. I was desperate for help. So in a last-ditch attempt to get better, I set out on one of the hardest journeys of my life, a 90-day mission to biohack my mind and body back to health. With a little energy that I did have, I traveled the world to interview the top neuroscientists, doctors, and biohackers, including Dave Asprey. I underwent lab tests, tested smart drugs, and trialed wearable devices designed to reduce stress and reprogram my mind based on the latest research into neuroscience and biohacking. And what I found personally shocked me. Food sensitivities, inflammation, side effects from medication, nutritional deficiencies are altering our behavior more than any of us have realized. Our environment has changed, but our thinking hasn't. And the truth is, we can't become peak performers until we apply psychology and biochemistry in tandem. The two are interlinked, they can't be separated. One fuels the other, and the other depletes the first. And yet, the strategies that we're taught to improve our lives fail to factor in the changes in our environment that are having very serious implications on our mental health. If our symptoms are severe, we get medicated. But if the symptoms are mild, we get told it's all in our head, toughen up and just get on with the job. The problem is, nutritional deficiencies, toxins, inflammation, and side effects from medications are widespread and all mimic psychological disorders, including anxiety, depression, and aggression. And unless we address the root cause, we will continue to suffer. And on one hand, the medical field believes that the issue is a biochemical one. Then on the other, the self-help field believes it's mindset. The truth is it's both. Either way, we've been treating symptoms, not causes. You can medicate with self-help all you like I did. You may get better, but will you get well? Within 30 days of embarking on this journey, I started noticing a huge difference in energy and mental clarity. My brain fog cleared, I got my energy and drive back, and I finally felt happy for the first time in years. But most importantly, the incessant fear and worry that had plagued me before lifted, and I felt like myself again. And now through sharing my story in my book Unstoppable, I've been able to help thousands around the world finally work out what's really holding them back based on neuroscience, psychology, and biohacking, not theory and not wishful thinking. This has been by far one of the hardest projects I've ever worked on. To ensure accuracy, we hired 3 different medical researchers and editors to fact check everything. Then we put it to the test by sending the book to doctors, psychologists, clinical social workers, nutritionists, and even a former NFL player and world champion. I've been genuinely humbled by the overwhelming positive response. People are finally getting to the root of their rut and working out why they've been experiencing depression, anxiety, fear, and even aggression. And my mission now is to make sure that people don't suffer the way that I did. You don't have to accept fatigue, depression, and anxiety as your new normal. You just don't. It's time we uncover the real science of success so we can finally become unstoppable in every area of our lives. But to do so will require a paradigm shift that's been decades in the making. The research has caught up to our new world challenges, but our thinking certainly hasn't. And to those watching this who are filled with fear, have anxiety and depression, I will be your champion because I remember how much I personally suffered in silence when I was going through this, unable to get answers from all of the professionals. So I will be here to support you.